Hey everyone, welcome back to the Chessyard. This is Rebecca, and I'll be playing the 5 minute blitz today on Lee Chess. So let's get started. Oh, playing a 2000 player. Oops. So C65. He doesn't capture. Should I capture? Should I move forward? Capture makes more sense. Attack the knight. He defends back on G3. He goes to G3. Yep. So bishop G6. Just making a retrieval square for my bishop. And his knight hops in probably now. Yep. And queen to d6, defending the bishop. He takes, I take back. Now he can develop the light square bishop. Or he doesn't. First he wants to develop his pieces. This can trap the queen, so I think I should just move away the queen now. No, the queen won't be trapped. It should not be. We can go for the queen exchange, or if I go here, then he can probably get an extra pawn. Let's go for queen exchange and see. If he doesn't take, the pawn is hanging, so some sort of an advantage at least. He doesn't, but defends the pawn as well. Smart. Now there's not much of an option remaining. I have to go back. This isn't looking fine. The queen is about to be trapped. Let's go back and save the queen if possible. That looks ugly, but probably the only way to save the queen. I was trying to calculate where all queen can go, and if I go on the f6, the bishop comes on g5, threatening queen, and the queen really doesn't have much options there otherwise. Okay, have to just kick away the bishop. That makes some space for the queen as well. He retrieves, and now I can develop. Or just move the queen on the diagonal, threatening to take on g7. Oh, sorry, on d4. Queen to g7. The knight can be developed here. Yep, let's go with the knight. Or this makes more sense. I'm attacking the bishop. Just a pawn up. So despite that horrible looking position for the queen, we're like okay in the game. Yep, let's trade and release some pressure. Always the way to defend is exchange a lot of stuff as much as you can. Probably attacking the queen makes sense. Oh, he can plant the bishop. Oh, he doesn't. So let's attack. This makes more sense. Attacking the bishop. I'm ready to castle as well. Goes back. Let's develop the dark square bishop now. Phew. I think I've fended off the attack pretty well here so far. There's no direct attack as of now. He pushes the pawn. I can take. Oh, or I should just move the pawn forward. Don't know. Somehow it made more sense. And planned the knight in between just in case required. The pawn is being guarded by a couple of pieces, the queen and the bishop. If he moves the pawn forward, I can take with the rook, exchange the rooks. Okay, he's now getting the second attacker. Let's not do much but just castle. Game in the balance so far. Now can consider the move f5. Not now. He has moved his pawn and tried to create a pawn chain over there. Can I offer him knight exchange? Then he captures on the pawn, so not a good idea. Let's defend everything. A complex middle game for sure. Now I can move my queen. Oh, he can capture the pawn now with the knight. Damn, there's no support of the queen. Oh, he doesn't. Some respite. So let's move the rook. And this rook made more sense because I can get the bishop back as well. Can I get the bishop back? He's trying to come from the other side of the board. A lot of queen maneuvers he did. I hope it's in vain. There comes the hop and knight. But the point is, where is he going? Towards the center, maybe? He's trying to capture the pawn. He can't. But he played some quick moves here, so I have to be fast now on time. Let's build some space as well as space. Everything into the attack and defense. As soon as I get a chance, I should take on this knight. Oh, he takes, I take back. Uh, the rook in between. Time pressure. Time pressure. Staying on the pawns, which is okay. Can I also do something here? He is bothering a lot. I take, takes. He takes the queen, takes the pawn. Time out. It's a draw. I gave away all the pieces. That's why it's a draw. I should have saved my rook maybe, and then I could have won this game on time. Phew, a draw against 2027 rated player. I would take that. It was a very complex game. And he was attacking left, right, center from everywhere. Wow, that was nice. E4, C6, knight C3, D5. He develops a knight on F3, standard opening moves, and here I have to develop the knight. But I was wondering if I develop the knight and he pushes me forward, pushes the pawn forward, where do I go? This can spoil the pawn structure. Not really happy with this kind of a structure when you play the Caravan. So I took, he takes back. Now the bishop to F5. Okay, had to pin the knight. Mm, Bishop to G6 was bad. After he develops, I played H5. He hops in. I defend with the queen. He takes. I take back. Yep. Okay. Uh, had to move the queen to D6. Queen. If I go here and he gets his bishop, I can take on, of course. And what happened in the game was I tried to exchange the queens. He tried to defend. I went back, and here he takes the pawn. Now, probably, what was the best move? It's just the computer saying to take with the rook. Of course, if I move here, the queen is trapped. That's what I was talking about in the game. After he moves the bishop, there's no way the queen can be saved. The back dangler is already blocked by the bishop. The sixth rank is controlled by both the bishops. This f5 is controlled by knight. Can't go to e5 as well. Can't take on d4. So queen is probably helpless here. Can't go on f4 as well, and of course not any other square as well. So queen is trapped. If I place the queen here, so I rather chose to get back the queen on h7 here, and then he develops his queen. I push the pawn forward, forcing him to retrieve. Okay, this was another option, f5 straight away, but I chose to develop the queen first, then the knight attacking the bishop, taking on some exchanges to relieve the pressure, then knight to d7. He castles knight to f6, threatening queen. Queen goes back, then knight to f3, the best move, f5, sorry, oh, sorry, d5. The best move, attacking the bishop. He goes back. Had to exchange the queens over here, okay. But I developed the bishop. He moves the pawn forward. Computer suggesting to capture, but again, my problem was if it takes back with the knight, is my queen going? And wherever it goes, there's always a attack, a discover attack, attacking the queen now. The rook is hanging, so if I lose this rook, I lose the another rook as well. So a lot of stuff is what was on the line if he moves the knight thereafter. So I moved the pawn forward and then castle on the queen side. Perfect. He moves g4, stopping me from advancing the pawn further. And then I move to f6. He gets the rook on the empty file, the partial open file, I would say, to e1. And then queen goes to f7. Yes, I spotted this move during the game. That's a bad move. He can capture on the pawn, and of course I cannot take back because queen is pinned. So that is what I saw in the game. But after moving only, blitz game, you don't get much of a time to calculate stuff. He goes back to e2. Okay, this is one standard rule I try to apply amongst all my games. So whenever queen opponents. You can always place your rook in front of the queen, opponent's queen. You can never go wrong with this. So always try to make sure whenever queen on whichever file it is, just try to plant your rook in front of it. And probably he was making some space, maneuvering to attack from the queen side here. So here I moved the bishop. Oh, he could have forked my pieces, queen and king over there by moving the knight. But again, his plan was to attack from the other file. So I moved the pawn to a6, defending it. He goes with the knight to c5 here, developing the bishop to d6, threatening to take, but never really got chance. I should have taken here, but I developed the knight. I was trying to align the rooks because he was trying to do the same. He does. I align the rooks as well, and he sacks his knight. I take back with the pawn. He captures the pawn on c6 and check, so I have to defend. And with the rook, and he goes back to 8, attacking. So king to d7, he captures the pawn. And now I'm trying to make some space for my queen to move. So the diagonal I was thinking was to come here and probably then enter his other side of the board, try to do some damage from there, or at least be in control of everything. Okay, I missed the pawn capture here. That was a winning position. If I capture, because the knight is defending the bishop, everything is stable. The queen cannot give check from here. Can only give a check from here, and then I can retrieve my rook if required. Okay, this is one move where he was at plus 7.2. After the move, he goes to minus 0.3 in favor of black. So a huge mistake from white. But I think he was playing on time here. I was at 21 seconds. He was at 36, so a lot of difference. And in such a complex situation, you don't really find the right move under time pressure unless you're a grandmaster. So here he gives a check. I move back my king. He takes on the knight. I take back with the pawn, and he takes the bishop. So nice maneuvering by him. And then I capture on the pawn, giving a check. He moves back, trying to exchange the queens, always best. Exchange happens. He takes on the pawn. I take back the rook. He takes. I take back. And of course, white is completely winning. He has lots of pawns to be promoted into queen. And black is just with his king and rook. So I give him a check, trying to make sure that I can capture some stuff. Then moving the king at the end, just trying to get close to the rook so that I can defend. Somehow he defends on, and had I just not given my rook like this, that was a win probably. I just had to place my rook let my rook on the same rank, same file, but just move my sorry. I, here were we here probably, yeah. I should have just moved my king to d7, d6, and after he moves the rook, there is like still the game is in favor of white, but he has to convert this to queen to win. And of course, with the time pressure, he cannot checkmate that easy. So I can just run away with the game. Could have won it, but yeah, a draw is fine when you are completely losing in the position. So advantages of hanging in there, could have lost this game pretty easy on time, or even the position. So I hope you like the game. A close game in the sense in the middle at least was good enough. And thanks for watching. I hope you learned something from out of it. Planting the rook in front of the queen is one, and then just try to hang in the game. Control what opponent is trying to do. Even if you lose a piece, that's okay. You can always make a comeback in the game. Thanks for watching, and yeah, take care. Bye bye.